The Space to Come is an arts company founded by myself that really is about how do we centre the fact that what the art's main role is to help us to emotionally develop as a species. How Do You Feel is a day of interactive and intimate events here at the Arnolfini that's inspired by the work of Frank Bowling. Frank Bowling, I think, has a very particular quality in terms of being able to really directly connect with us in some really magical way. I'm not quite sure how he does it, but his instinctive way of working, I think, allows us to be more instinctive. So we're using his work as inspiration. What will happen over the day, we'll have 3 feeling tours, and during those tours, people will have a chance to connect to his work in a much more intimate way than we normally do when we're in a gallery. So we'll have 5 minutes with 3 different paintings. We'll be given prompts, and the prompts have been written by us to help people directly connect to how they're feeling in the moment, to their memories, and to their imagination. And it's as much about connecting to the paintings as it is about connecting to ourselves.
I'm facilitating an event called Rest Improvised, which is in the main gallery, and we're going to invite the audience to lie down with the paintings for about half an hour, 40 minutes, while a musician improvises in response to Frank Boland's work. And Gayleen had the idea for the format already, and Arnolfini introduced us because I've been working with rest as a strategy for storytelling for a few years. And in my work, I've discovered that when we rest and when we allow ourselves to kind of be at ease and drop all our masks and be vulnerable, we take in stories in a very different way.
What we're hoping for is that there are discoveries that happen, or new things that we notice about both of those things, the work and also ourselves. It's also a great way actually to have conversations. I think often when we're in public spaces, we end up having very service engagements with each other. And this is about being able to have conversations about things that are much more intimate.
And what I'm hearing actually is there's a much deeper level of conversations happening, and it's also a really accessible way of looking at the artwork, I think, because you don't have to know anything about the artist, and it's really focusing on how an artwork just makes you feel.
You don't need to understand art to enjoy it, and I think it's that element that really enhances the show through the feeling guide and the feeling events. I think it's giving people that almost kind of permission, which they don't need, but I think some people feel like they need a prompt to say, you don't have to know this about the artist, you don't have to understand this about his history or where he's from, you can actually just enjoy the work.
I've had a kind of hunch for a while that if we lingered with art, it would have a kind of more profound effect on our bodies. And then this was like the perfect opportunity to explore that with Gayleen, who's been exploring these other strategies for how we feel art rather than think about it, and how to kind of break that format where we move politely around a gallery and we pause for a very polite kind of amount of time and then we move on, and how to break that, challenge it, disrupt it, interrupt it, and create a space for something different to happen.
I'm somebody who does a gallery quite quickly, an exhibition, I can do it. I'll just walk around. But, just the opportunity to slow down and to engage with the work in a very different way. I was quite surprised with my ability to do that, actually.
I guess I discovered that I don't normally use all of my senses to experience artwork, and it just made me really think about doing that more often, because it just reveals a whole other layer of the work, whether that's what the artist is intended or not. But as a viewer, your experience is really deepened by that.
Gayleen is incredible. She's an incredible producer and curator, and I was just really inspired by her talking about her experience of seeing Frank Bowling's work. And I knew that she could bring audiences a completely different experience that we haven't offered before.
It feels really democratic. I think it feels like it's giving people the kind of encouragement and opportunity to engage with something which they might not otherwise do, or that they might do but only in a sort of a sense of their, feeling that they need to understand something. And I think what it really does is just strips that away and actually just says to people, like, no, just go, just, be with the work.
I was very interested to read Gayleen's feeling tour, and I thought some of the strategies in that, particularly touch actually. There's one where you're asked to kind of hold your earlobe, and there's another one, it might be to do with the mouth. I thought those were very interesting strategies. I think I work a lot with sound in my work, and kind of grounding and dropping into different senses of time and different felt senses of the body. But I haven't thought so much about other senses like smell or taste. And I think that's something that I'd like to explore more in the future.
How do you feel project is important, and a lot of the work we do at the Space to Come, because we're in a time where the value of art is questioned. So we're living in an increasingly more algorithmic world. The idea that we can use our computer brains to sort out problems that we might face. But actually, the real value of art to us is really about emotional development and emotional maturation. That actually what the works allow us to do is to be present and to be still and to see what emerges about our own selves. And art is there not just to make you think, but to make you feel. And it's almost the only thing that has that job in our society. So how do you feel, in a way, brings us right back to that, which is, let's not try and decode the work through our brains. Let's try and feel them. And let's try and give space to being feeling human beings. And actually that's quite radical. I'm feeling that's much more radical, actually, in the world that we're living in, and therefore more and more important.